Okay, to start out, you're going to need a color of dye for every color of the rainbow. Black hair dye and Q-tips, cotton swabs, what have you, is what I use to apply it. And you want to get a lightening agent to do the lighter shades. I use white conditioner, works just fine. And there's a nice fade to some gloves, which will protect your hands as you dye your hair. And aquaphor or petroleum jelly to put around your hairline to make sure you don't get dye on your face, and mixing bowls. And this is me. I decided to do a voiceover for this tutorial because I feel awkward about talking in my videos, but this is not really that much easier, if at all. But so I put my petroleum jelly on, and I also coated my little sideburns with it because I want to keep those light. Now, if you want to get your hair really, really bright colored, you are going to have to lighten it up. And that's just it. Sorry about it. It's physics, I guess, or chemistry, whatever. I don't know. So I'm going to start with my black hair dye. I like to use Manic Panic semi-permanent. And here's my reference for my leopard print, just for shapes. Not color, because I'm not doing a natural look. This is Lisa Frank. It's very unnatural. But so really, like, all you do is you just dab it on in little splotches. The beauty of leopard print is that since it's a natural pattern, it doesn't have to be like symmetrical or the same in any kind of way, because that's just how it works. And also, if you have issues getting all of your hair bleached out, you just start with the part that is dark, and then you cover up any spots that you might have. And it's a pretty nice way to hide it. I bleach mine twice because I want my colors to be really vivid. But so yeah, you just dab them on, and it's really, really easy. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So I'm doing my spots, and what I do is I do the black, and then I let it dry completely before I do the colors, so that way it doesn't really bleed into anything else. And I have a hard time getting behind my ears because I can't see, and when you do two mirrors, I get really confused. So my husband helps me, or my mom sometimes. Okay, so now we are back after it has been dyed, and I'm dancing and being weird because that's just what I do. So now I'm going to take the full strength colors, and I'm starting with this hot pink instead of a true red, because this is a Lisa Frank style rainbow leopard print, and like usually it's like pink instead of red. And right now I'm deciding like how I want to portion out the colors, and I chose like a sort of radiating pattern, but then I didn't explain it very clearly to my husband, and so he started working on like an up and down pattern, and it's of course reversed in the mirror, but I did them like in Roy G. Biv order, which is why my husband is having to come in every couple of minutes to do the other side. And so, yeah, I like to use Manic Panic. Manic Panic, I've been using it for like 30 years, and the quality has gotten way better than it was in the 90s. So if anybody hasn't used it in a while and is like, oh, I remember that sucked. And it's like, yeah, it wasn't that great back then, but it's pretty good now. And another thing that I've started doing with my hair dyeing is that I just like work with how it works. And when I dye my longer hair different colors, I tend to layer different shades, and I work my way around the color wheel, so when it fades, and it just blends together in a really cool way, and it looks intentional, so it doesn't fade outs don't bother me anymore at all, because I do it on purpose. Also, I'm getting older and my hair is thinning, and so I lighten up my hair dye a lot. Speaking of, this is where we are now in the video. Manic Panic makes a pastelizer, and probably lots of other hair dye companies do too. But I've found with semi-permanent dye that's like this, just white conditioner works fine. I have yet to have any problems with it. When you're lightening up your dye, you want to remember that it will be lighter. Your hair is gonna come out lighter than the actual color you're looking at. So if you make it real light, it's going to be really, really light. And so this is me showing how the different colors look when I mix them. Whoop. See? I mixed them all up so I'd be ready to do them all in one go. And so here I am, just adding the lighter shade on the outside. A lot of people, when they see my hair and they're like, oh, wow, it's just so cool. I could never do that. I could never pull off something like that. And I just want to say that, like, you totally can. Like, anyone can pull off any look. If you feel like you look beautiful and awesome, then you do. And you shouldn't ever feel like, oh, I can't do this thing because people are going to make fun of me. Because, like, the only people who ever try to make fun of me are people that I could not care less what they think about me. They're, like, just not worth it. And so, yeah, you can wear whatever you want. But I want to make this clear that this is not like, I'm not talking about things like cultural appropriation here. Like, when you take things from culture, specifically like Black and Indigenous people of color, looks for them and apply them to yourselves when you're not from their culture, while they're still being persecuted for expressing themselves according to their cult in a way that makes them feel good about who they are and where they're from. Yeah, we can't do that. And I mean, we can, because it's a quote unquote free country, but like, just because you can do something, it doesn't mean that you should all the time. And I just think it's weird to have someone say, hey, don't do this, it hurts me. And then you just want to do it anyway. Like, I mean, that's just really, really, really shitty. Anyway, that's my PSA for this video. But anyway, we are almost done here. And you can see my kids running around in there. She was like dancing around and she's like, what if they could see me? And I'm like, they can't see you. But anyway, so what I'm doing now at the end here is, because I got a little bit on some of my longer hair, so I just decided to extend the color just up the edges a little bit, just to make it more intentional. It's kind of like, you know, when I talk about how if you bleach your hair and you have like brown spots, and that's where you put your leopard print spots, because that way it just covers it up. And it's like, just make it look like you did it on purpose. I can't draw hands either. So when I draw people, I give them different things instead of hands. It's like, you work with your limitations and just make it work. And nobody knows any different unless you tell them, like I just did. So we're finishing it up, and now it's time for the big reveal. Happy Pride, babies. I am so happy with how my hair turned out, and I hope that you will take a chance on something and express yourself. Bye. Thanks.